Woo! Hi guys, it's your gal pal E Vegan here, and I hope that you're all well and content, or even feeling fabulous today. Hey, it's okay to feel fabulous. And if you're none of those, then I hope you can find a way in your brain to rewire it, to change it. Now, this change doesn't always happen instantly, but as long as we start a process of change in our thoughts, then we can begin to move forward to a better state of mind. Because I've got a lot to talk about today, and really the format in my mind is kind of jumbled up, but I'm hoping as I keep speaking that the universe is going to align it so I can deliver this how I want it to be delivered for it to make sense. Now, I know not a lot of people view these types of videos, which is a shame, because if they did, my videos are very helpful. I don't ever talk about anything that I haven't experienced myself. I don't ever talk about anything that I haven't tried and done and been successful with myself. Now, people can look at me and be like, yeah, but you don't drive a Porsche or live in a mansion. They're missing the whole point. The whole point of all of this. All right, how am I going to start out this? I'm going to start out by saying, first off, I haven't watched the news or mainstream TV since 2017. That's 6 years. All right, and all of that has dissolved away from my brain and started making me feel better, because let me just back up and say, and just because I haven't watched the news or mainstream TV, I feel I'm smarter. I feel better. I don't feel like I'm living in fear. Even if tomorrow was our last day on earth, at least for the last 6 years, I've been able to enjoy it, not live in fear, because I'm watching something that may or may not be true. A lot of it's fake. A lot of it I do believe is fake, and it's a controlling machine. All right, let me say this. They've made TV into a god. People worship the TV. I've seen people go crazy just to get home so they can turn on their TV, and they don't care if they hurt their loved ones. They don't want to even stop to help anybody, because they have to slam on that pedal to get home, to make sure they don't miss the news, to make sure they don't miss this program or that program. Screw the rest of the world. And then we had the invention of cell phones. Now, I do own a cell phone, and I do use my cell phone quite a bit now, because it's my way to create media, to put out into the world, the planet, to help other people. But when I spent 2 years on the homeless experiment, where I spent 2 years as a homeless woman, it opened my eyes. During that 2 years, I had a cell phone, but I didn't have like cell service. I only used it for Wi-Fi. And during those 2 years, again, I started getting smarter and more wonderful. That's the time when I put my cell phone down, and it was like, before all of that happened, I was stuck in that cell phone for 10 years. It was like I didn't look at the world around me. And when I put my cell phone down in 2018 is when I did that. 2018. This was all before COVID hit. I started feeling like a different person. I started feeling like the universe was starting to give me the truths. I felt like something big was coming before the news told people about it. So I headed down south, and I spent my homeless experience down there, without news, without a cell phone, with just living as a human being. All right, because here's the deal. I've never been the worst person on the planet, but I was a brainwashed human following the other humans, following what the other sheep were doing. And that wasn't right. The other sheep would say, laugh at that fat person over there. So everybody in the group would laugh at them, because it's an animal instinct. If you don't hang out with the cows and do what the cows are doing, then you get booted out. And nobody likes that idea of being thrown out of a crowd, because we're just, it's imprinted in us to be social creatures. So a lot of people live lies. A lot of people deny their true self and what they truly want because they're trying to impress this group of people over here that really don't give a shit. This group of people over here are like, let's just pretend I was that person rejecting that person because this group wanted to reject them. But then 1 week later, I'm in a terrible accident and I call everybody up in that group, I need your help, and none of them will help me. That's usually how it goes. So I spent a lot of time helping myself. And it's hard to trust people once you're awake and once you're aware. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Let me tell you, it's heartbreaking to know. It's heartbreaking to know what most humans are really like. They're brainwashed and they do things and they don't even know why. I ask some people that I'm close to, like, why did you just do that? Why did you just say that? I don't know. They don't even know. It's because it's imprinted in them just to carry this force of evilness. Even though they say they go to church and they're so good, but their actions outside of their church are not moral. All right? So I don't go to church and I'm not a Christian. I am spiritual and I have my it's nobody's business really, because spirituality is a very sacred and nothing to laugh about and nothing to joke about. But religion has made it a joke. Religion has separated people. So again, I'm talking about 3 major things that have absolutely demolished modern day humans. TV, cell phones, religion, and a 4th one, politics. All right, so 4. People eat that shit up and they believe everything. Then they get into mobs and go against somebody because they feel like if they can be against somebody and be horrible to somebody else that's different, then what they do doesn't matter. And some of those people are fucking goddamn crackheads, excuse the GD word. I do have colorful language sometimes because I am human. But yeah, you got these people that are sitting in their own homes doing dirty deeds, and the only thing that they can conjure up is that I'm a weirdo and crazy. I hate the C word. You know why I hate the C word? Because we have lost so many people on this planet. Good people, good humans. Starting back from the early 1900s, even before that, the Salem witch trials, good people that wanted to help, but they had evolved, or and they wanted to use their magic and their skills and abilities to do good, but yet those people that did good, just like the story of Jesus Christ, let's talk about that story for a minute. Just look at that story. If that story is a real story, then you've got this man, Jesus Christ is what they called him, the Son of God Almighty, born to Mary, a virgin, and Joseph, who never had sexual relations with Mary, becomes pregnant and has the prodigal son, Jesus Christ. Now imagine if that happened in today's world. A young woman of 16 years old is dating John, and they've never had sex, and she becomes pregnant. And she tells the whole world that she's a pregnant virgin. What are they going to call her? The C word. The C word. And she would be institutionalized. Her baby would be taken away from her. And these are the same people that go to church and praise Jesus, praise Jesus, praise Jesus, born to Virgin Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. Let me go back to what I was trying to say. We have lost a lot of good humans because of the C word. Thankfully, today in 2023, we can express ourselves with freedom of speech and not be condemned crazy and condemned to a nut house just because we see the world differently. We've lost a lot of people. We've lost a lot of good people because they had to go to these institutions, and a lot of them didn't make it out. A lot of them didn't go in there crazy, but they certainly had their brains melted or part of it removed, or they were lobotomized. That used to be a treatment too, lobotomizing people. Can you imagine? Yeah, well, this bitch ain't acting right, so let's just lobotomize her, tap that part of the brain, and turn her into a puppet. So you mean to tell me that you're happier with a puppet, huh? That's really sad. It's really sad. This whole world is really sad, and people are just continuing letting evilness consume them. And even good people, they're responding to the evilness with more evilness. And even when I stay isolated most of the time because I'm an empath. Dark and light. I'm a dark and light empath because we live in a world of duality where no one can be completely perfect. And I'm not sitting here saying that I never do anything bad, but I don't do anything bad with intention to hurt somebody else because I'm jealous or because I want what they want. I don't do that. When I want something, I get it for myself. I don't take it from someone else. I've worked very hard to be where I'm at. And if that makes me look crazy because I like to wear scarves and cool hats and cool jewelry, the only reason why people ever want to say that is because they wish they had my kahunas. Because, through all of this I realized, I was brought up in a Baptist Christian home where I was taught, oh, you got to care about your appearance. You can't look like this because people will think that. I love my hair. I have naturally beautiful, thick, wild, curly hair. And, oh no, you got to cut that into a style like everybody else. Have back in the 80s, you got to have a perm, look like everybody else. No, I'm not everybody else. Here's the thing. We aren't much different than animals, but humans, and I can't look up what the origin word to human is right now. I used to know a lot of stuff because I am actually a smart person. Just academically, sometimes it's hard for me to retain information unless I'm very interested in the subject. And this is just something I woke up and Spirit said, you've got to make a video about this and talk about it. So we aren't much different than animals. We just have extra chromosomes that have developed and evolved. And we even have we even have this whole brain that some of us are learning to use more of. And it's like our brain compared to a computer is better than a computer. But the truth is most people only use a small percentage of their brain, just like their lungs. So let me make it easier because it's going to be easier for me to explain lung capacity. And I want you to keep in mind it's the same deal with our brains because they're organs and they work the same. So if I want to get better at being able to hold more air into my lungs, then I have to make a conscious effort in doing that. And how I started doing that was just by breathing exercises. How much can I breathe in? And I just started breathing in more and more. The average person only uses 30 to 50% of their lung capacity. Wow. That leaves a whole nother 50% that's just lying there dormant, never being used, which could be used. So, I was able to definitely, that science is definitely true because I did that. I consciously started doing breathing exercises and made my lung capacity better. So in saying that, I started doing that with my brain too. How can you do it with your brain? All right, well, let's think about, most people will just look at this and be like, oh, that's a set of keys. Well, look, it's looking at it closer. How is the key made? That's how you start using more of your brain, when you start thinking about things and how they're made. I'm living proof of that. All right. One more example, and then I'm gonna cut this video off because it's already at 15 minutes. When I was homeless, I was not street smart. And I'm thankful if anybody's watching this that was homeless with me. I'm thankful for my NYC people. I'm thankful for my Puerto Ricans. I'm thankful for my Brian Arrigo. God, I'm thankful for you, man. I'm thankful for my Boston people, and I'm thankful for my Jersey people. Those people taught me how to be street smart, to survive on the streets for 2 years. And I did it. Let me tell you, a lot of people die out there. A lot. And, I came close to death too. But I evolved. And thank God, and thank the gods that I had already knew about the lung capacity, so I knew that my brain could do the same thing, and I had started doing that. And when I had to escape from being killed in the woods, then I had to use that brain and be more creative on how to escape out of these woods from these 2 men hunting me down, trying to kill me and feed me to the gators. People don't know everything I've been through, but I've got so many stories, and I do want to write books about it because it's just amazing. It's amazing what a human can do. All right, what was the point of this? Because I said I was going to make one more point, and then I went to that story. I told you that this wasn't really an organized speech. It was just something that I really have to get off my chest. So in conclusion, I just want everybody that has watched this video to stop for a minute and think. What is your happiness? And why do you let other people's opinions interfere with your happiness? Why do you believe other people's bullshit when they don't know the truth to stop your happiness? You have to realize that the only reason why people ever want to stop you from your happiness is because they are unhappy. It would do them a great injustice for you to be happy, because they wouldn't have a friend to sit down and be miserable with. It's sick, and it's twisted, and it's disgusting, and I don't like it. I don't like that at all. People, this is what it is. Carnal instincts. Animals, that's what animals have, carnal instincts. That's how animals are able to survive. They eat, they fuck, and they run from predators. That's what their life is. And that's what our lives would have been if we didn't evolve. But we just evolved almost. No, we did evolve to be better, but here's the troublesome part. Most people evolved at being better at catching their prey, fooling their prey, starving their prey, and mistreating their prey. Whenever they should have evolved to do the opposite. Come together as a human race to be better, but now everybody's against each other, and now we are at the state where they have divided this country in America. And guess what? We're probably not too far from being conquered because we're all divided, and it makes me sick. Absolutely fucking sick to my stomach that I still live in a world where this goes on. Evilness, division, war. Everybody says they want to be happy, but nobody wants to work to be happy. I hope this video makes sense. I'm Eve Eden. And let me just say, if y'all want to call me crazy or weird, go ahead. But just remember that next time that bad thing happens to you, because we are in a karmic flow right now. This is all a karmic flow. You notice that if you do something bad yourself, boom, something bad happens to you right away. I'm a sweetheart. And the universe knows my heart. The universe knows my good intention. I'm protected. So when people do something bad to me, bad stuff usually happens to them. So be kind to one another. Be kind. Be truthful. If you don't like somebody, or if you don't think it's going to work out, then tell them this isn't going to work out. Then people can move on and feel better. We need to start doing that. But people are too chicken shit. Stop being a chicken. Be a human. Be a man or a woman. And if you're a child, well, you really shouldn't be watching this. But if you're a child, you should have role models in your life. Good human role models. You shouldn't have to see this bickering, because I don't want the children of our world to grow up like this. It's disgusting. Do better. Do a lot better. Do better. Do it. I challenge you to do better. Do something today. Do something that you've been putting off. Do something that you're too scared to do. Show that you're brave. Come on. I challenge you. This has been your Gal Pal Eve Eden.